So you've just purchased AutoCAD. Great. What now? You've installed it on your computer and it looks like this. And you're thinking to yourself, oh dear, how do I use it? Okay. So I'm just putting together a collection of videos. And it's not for the experienced user. This is for the people who never used AutoCAD before. So there's loads of videos out there which shows you what every button does. That's not what this little collection of videos is for. This is just to get you going straight out of the box. So this is what AutoCAD looks like straight out of the box. Once you've installed it, you got it on your system, you double click that application button, and then this is what opens up on your screen in front of you. And it's like, well, what do I do now? So let's just have a little look at the interface. Okay, so right up here, top left corner, we've got this is called a quick access bar. There's not a lot in there at the moment. More tools will appear in there as we go through AutoCAD. This is called our ribbon bar. Now at the moment this is inactive, so we can't use it. What we can do is we can access this area down here. So this is where we can open existing files or we can generate brand new ones. Now in the middle here, so we're looking at recent documents, and that's because we're on the recent tab just there. Now the only other real important one is the learning tab. And when you click on here, you can see some documents that you can read, or there's some videos that you can watch. These things are really useful, and if you have time, go through those and have a little look. But just leave it back on recent just for the moment. Now I want to start a new document inside AutoCAD. Now if you just hit new, you don't know what you're going to get. So the thing is we want to, in the UK, we tend to want to be metric and millimeters. So I'm just going to click on this little drop down arrow at the side, and I'm going to click on browse templates. Now the one that we're after is this one just here called ACAD ISO. Now if you're using the LT version of AutoCAD, then that will say ACAD LT ISO, but we want ACAD ISO. So I'm just going to select it, then go open, and then AutoCAD will launch. And this is what it looks like. So we can see that our quick access bar, we've got a few more tools added into it now. Our ribbon bar is now active, and we've got our drawing area just here. Now straight out of the box, AutoCAD isn't, so as user-friendly as you'd like it to be. And I'm just going to show you how to make just a few interface changes just to make it that little bit more friendly to use. But let's just have a little look at the interface now before we get started. So the ribbon bar. Now at the moment we're on the home tab. So the tools that are presented to you, these are the most commonly used tools inside AutoCAD, and it's nicely divided up into different sections. So you've got the draw bit here, you've got modify, annotation, layers, blocks and properties and so on. Now you'll notice that we don't have that many annotation tools, and that's why we have the different tabs just here. Now if I click onto the annotate tab, then it takes us into this area of the ribbon bar, and this has been nicely divided into text and dimensions and center lines and leaders and so on. And you can see we've got a lot more tools here. So I've got my center line tools, and I can change my different dimension styles, my different text styles as well. But we'll have a little look at that later on. To get back to our home tab, I'm just going to click on home, and it takes us back to where we were. Immediately below the ribbon bar, I've got this gap here. Now this is a tab, and if I click on this tab, it takes me straight back to my start screen. If I want to start a brand new document, I could click on new just here. But a much easier way of doing it, when I'm here on my working drawing, if I click on this little plus symbol, it launches a brand new DWG. So let me just put a circle on there, and I'm just going to hit the plus symbol again, and it launches another brand new DWG. And now if I hop between these open drawings, then I can see and refer to different drawings inside AutoCAD. Now if I want to close any of these down, I can do just by clicking on this little plus, this symbol just here, this little cross. Click on that, and it'll come here and it'll say, do you want to save changes? No, I don't. Get rid of that one. And if I click on this one, same thing. Do you want to save changes? No, I don't. And then it takes me back to my original document that I had open just here. Now we're going to be mainly staying in Flatland, so we're not really interested in the view cube at the moment, or even the nav bar. But that's what those things are, and they're just there, and we can either have those activated or deactivated. Immediately at the bottom of the screen, we've got the command line. Now this is quite an important part of AutoCAD, but the way it's displayed at the moment isn't how I prefer to see it. Now, your interface that you work in inside AutoCAD is a very personal thing, and you can have this set up however you want. So I'm just going to give you some ideas on how setting up AutoCAD could make life a little bit easier for you. So just try it the way I'm going to show you. If you don't like it, you can always change it. It's your AutoCAD. That's one of the great things about the flexibility of AutoCAD. So the command line at the bottom here, I don't like the way it looks. So at the beginning of the command line, I've got this bit here. It looks like a serrated edge. If I put my cursor over that, press down with my left mouse button, keep the left mouse button down, I can move this away, and it will rip it away from the interface. Now I want to put this into the interface. I want to dock it. So I'm going to grab hold of this, and I'm going to push it into the interface at the bottom. As soon as it looks like that, I can release and it will dock. And I personally prefer that as a way of displaying the information inside the command line. Immediately below the command line, just over here on the right hand side, we've got this thing. This is called a status bar. This is really just a collection of switches. Anything that's blue is switched on, anything that's not blue is switched off. Now, to add additional tools into here, we can just click on these three lines here at the end. If I click on those three lines just there, my customization button, then this menu appears on the side of the screen. Anything with a tick next to it is already there. Anything without a tick, potentially we can put in ourselves. So I'm just going to add dynamic input, line weight, transparency, and also graphics performance. That's always a good one. So I've just added dynamic input, line weight, and transparency, and also graphics performance. So to make that menu disappear, I'm just going to click back into my working environment, and that goes. Now that's added these extra ones down here. So there's dynamic input, there is line weight, there's transparency, and there's graphics performance. Now, whilst we're down here, this is object snaps. And if I click on the little arrow to the side, these are the running object snaps. So this is what AutoCAD is always looking for. So it's always looking for the endpoint of something, the center of something, intersection of something, and the extension of something. Now, by default, those are the ones that are switched on, but I like to add an extra one. So I'm just going to put a tick next to midpoint. So I'm going to run with those 5, and that again makes life easier inside AutoCAD. To get rid of that menu, I'm just going to click into my drawing environment, and then that makes that disappear. Another thing that I like to have on my screen is the properties palette. If you're familiar or you've seen the Mac version of AutoCAD, you'll notice that on the left hand side of the screen there's a nice palette with all of the tools and things and properties on the side, and I like to emulate that inside the PC version. So I'm just going to come up here to my view tab. I'm going to click on view, and then about halfway along the ribbon bar you've got the properties button just there. So I'm just going to click on here to activate my properties tab. Now I can move this around, so I can put my cursor onto the banner just here, and I can move this from side to side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab hold of this, and I'm going to push it into the interface just here, and it will dock. I'm just going to go back to my home tab, and that's how I like to work inside AutoCAD. Let's just finish the tour of the interface by looking at the lower left side. You've got some tabs. Now the model tab is the one we are in at the moment, so this is where we will be doing all of our drawing inside AutoCAD. We've got another tab just here called layout 1, got layout 2 which is identical. If I click on layout 1, this is layout space, paper space, and this is a representation of a piece of paper, an A4 piece of paper actually. And here in the middle we've got this grid. So this is our viewport, and we'll talk about that later on. But I'm just going to go back to my model space. So I'm just going to click into here, and I'm now set up and ready to start drawing inside AutoCAD.